Man, shout out Don Staley, man. Let's give a round of applause. A round of applause for Don Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. I mean, they had an unbelievable season. They haven't lost a game since they lost to Iowa last year. And let's keep it a stack. This South Carolina team doesn't have a superstar. They have Camila Cardoso, and she'll be a top 10 pick in the WNBA draft. But, do they have somebody off the dribble, can really get their own shot anytime they want? No. Do they have a Flau'jae? No. Do they have a Caitlin Clark? No. Do they have a Hannah from Notre Dame? No, they don't have that. Well, they do have Malaysia Fawali, but sometimes, Dawn has to rail her back because she can be a little bit too aggressive sometimes. But all I'm trying to say is that South Carolina doesn't have a superstar. They have a collection of really good players, and with South Carolina, you don't know who's going to go off. For one game, it might be Pau. One game, it might be Cardoso. Another game, it might be Johnson, a freshman who dropped her career high. So what does this all tie back to? Coaching. So my first takeaway of this game is Dawn Staley is the greatest college coach of all time. That's what I believe. Some of y'all might say Gino, Pat Summer, whoever it is, but all I know is that Dawn Staley has maximized the potential out of her team. With Gino, if you have Breanna Stewart, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, I would hope that you won all these championships. You have four of the top 5 greatest players ever. I would hope that you would, win championships, go 4 straight times, do all that you did, have that unbelievable record. Gino's record probably will never be broken. But the thing is, he's had super teams. He's had the Golden State Warriors with KD each and every year. And this UConn team has, if Paige Becker is declared for the draft, she will be a top 5 pick. Aaliyah Edwards is going to be a top 5 pick. So you have UConn, who faced this same Iowa team that South Carolina has. They have more superstar power, but they didn't get it done. Dawn Staley got it done. That's what I go by facts. I don't go by fiction. I don't go by, if Gino had South Carolina, he would win. We don't know that. I go by facts. So shout out Dawn Staley. Shout out South Carolina. Let's go to Tessa Johnson. You're talking about a freshman. You're talking about a freshman that hits her career high in the championship game. That's clutch. That's being ready for prime time. And this all goes back to coaching, because your coach instills confidence in you so that when your name is called, you're not flustered. You're not shying away from the moment. You're ready. You're ready. And Tessa Johnson, she was ready. Shout out Malaysia Fawali as well earlier in the game. It was the freshmen that are the reason why South Carolina are champions. Because when the game was faltering a little bit and we ain't know if Iowa might break through, they were up by 10, 11. They was up big in that first quarter. When Malaysia came in, what happened? Changed the whole dynamic. Hit a 3. Got our teammates involved. Had some, great finishes at the hoop. So Malaysia and Tessa, oh my goodness. South Carolina is going to be good for a very, very long time, because you already got Caitlin Clark leaving. You got Angel Reese leaving. They'll have to worry about UConn for sure with Paige Beckers coming back and all of that. But this South Carolina team is going to keep getting better and better and better each and every year. Each and every year. So that's the first point. Camila Cardoso, I felt like she could have been better this game and used her height more, but she settled in as the game went on, and she had some key blocks, some key offensive rebounds. That was the difference, bro, the rebounding. And I thought that would be the difference when LSU played Iowa, because they out-rebounded them by over 18 rebounds. But the same thing happened here. What happened? South Carolina had 51 rebounds. Iowa, they had 29 rebounds. So in order for Iowa to win, they had to hit wide open shots. And for the most part in the first half, that's what they were doing. But come the second half, No, Kate Martin, Marshall, they weren't hitting them open shots like they were. Kaylin kind of, slowed down a little bit. And they were playing some phenomenal defense, which I'm about to talk about. But in order for Iowa to win, they had to consistently hit jump shots, which they did against LSU, but they didn't for the totality of this game. Raven Jackson. I'm sorry. Was it Raven Jackson? Raven Johnson. I'm sorry about that. Raven Johnson. Her defense on Kaylin Clark. I know Kaylin, she still had 30 points, but she had 30 points on 28 shots. So shout out Raven Johnson. And when you saw Raven on Kaylin, she was stripping her, taking her cookies from the cookie jar twice, blocking shots. Yeah, she wasn't, that great offensively, but I'll just chalk it up to, well, she was exerting so much energy on the defensive side that impacted her offensively. So shout out Raven Johnson. And yeah, they were sagging off you, but look, you've been guarding them like crazy. So shout out to you. And ultimately, I just love the way that, the game of women's basketball has transcended. Kaylin Clark, Angel Reese. You have that hero and that villain. That drives the sport. It drives the sport. Just like Angel Reese and Kaylin Clark are reminiscent to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Very reminiscent. Call it what it is. It's black and white. And for the NBA, that transcended the sport. For women's college basketball, that transcended the sport. So I can't say enough about how much Kaylin Clark has grown the game, but Angel Reese has a huge part in it too. And it's great. It's great to see. And Kaylin Clark is going to do the exact same thing in the WNBA. She will. People saying, it reminds me of the people that said LeBron wouldn't do the same thing in high school that he would do in the pros. You heard those people, they were actually Cleveland Cavaliers players that say, yeah, I don't expect no 18-year-old to, take my spot, or I don't expect no 18-year-old to really shake up the league. And then LeBron scored 25 points in his debut. And from day one showed, yeah, I'm one of them ones. Kaylin Clark is one of them ones. And she's not like everybody else. She's not like Deanna Taurasi. She's not like Sue Bird. I'm just sorry. She's built different. Now, pair her up with, my girl from Indiana Fever. It's just like that. So shout out to, just Kaylin Clark, and shout out to the South Carolina Gamecocks. It's phenomenal to watch. I love y'all. We're talking Miles Johnson, where I always keep it real, and Dawn Staley. She is the GOAT. I'm out, y'all.